How can you get your ex to regret leaving you to the point where she's thinking, damn it, why did I break up with him? I want him back. And then she opens back up to you, you interact with her, you meet up, and you get her back. Well, there's a quick way to go about it, and there's a slow way. Some guys are going to be open to doing the slow way because they're not in a hurry to get their ex-woman back, but most guys are going to want to do it the quick way so they can get a chance with her and start the relationship again. The slow way to go about it is to focus on building up your career and becoming more successful over the next 6 months to 3 years of your life. It also includes going to the gym and building up muscle. It takes many months to build up some muscle to the point where it's actually pretty noticeable. Yet, here's the thing. Even if a guy does build up his muscles and build up his career, there's no guarantee that his ex-woman is actually going to care about that. If she broke up with him because he was an insecure guy and he was too emotionally sensitive and that turned her off, then she's not really going to be caring much at all if he's put on some muscle. He's built himself up superficially, but on the inside, he's still going to be that insecure, emotionally sensitive guy that she dumped. As a result, she's not going to regret losing him. She's not going to regret her decision to break up with him. She might think to herself, oh, he looks a lot better these days, but she's also going to be thinking, yeah, but he's probably still the same insecure guy on the inside. Of course, sometimes a guy does get his ex back by approaching it in a slower way. He spends years building up his career and building some muscle, and when he eventually meets up with his ex again or she finds out about him, she does regret leaving him and he can then get her back. So if a guy wants to approach it in that way because he's not in a hurry to get his ex-woman back, he can go ahead and do that. He can build himself up over time, build up his career, build up his muscles if that's important to him, and he also might focus on the more important thing, which is to build up his confidence, his self-esteem, and his emotional attractiveness. For example, preparing himself for the point where he does interact with his ex, where he is much more confident, charismatic, funny, emotionally masculine, and able to make her feel feminine in his presence. He makes her feel feminine and girly because he's so masculine in the way that he approaches conversations, the way that he talks, the way that he feels, the way that he thinks, the way that he behaves, and the way that he acts. So a guy can approach it that way if he's not in a hurry. Now, if you're one of the guys who are in a bit of a hurry, you want to get your ex back quickly, meaning within the next few days, within the next week or so, or a little bit more, then I recommend that you approach it using a much quicker method. To introduce you to that method, I'm going to give you 3 tips. Those are, number 1, level up in ways that she wasn't expecting you to. For example, a well-mannered, nice guy suddenly becomes a very confident, ballsy guy. He is still a good guy, but he isn't as polite and reserved as he was before. He has lightened up a bit, and it makes her smile, laugh, and feel good to be interacting with him. She doesn't feel so tense around him anymore. She can now relax and be herself a lot more, rather than feeling like she has to put on an act of being nicer, more polite, and more reserved than she actually is or wants to be. Now, with this first tip, the reason why it's part of the quicker method is that you quickly level up in ways that she wasn't expecting you to, and then you interact with her. You don't level up in ways that she wasn't expecting you to, and then remain cutting off contact with her and hope that she somehow finds out through the grapevine or someone tells her, right? So it's about leveling up in ways that she wasn't expecting you to and then interacting with her. That's a man's approach to getting a woman back. You take control of the situation, right? You don't leave it all in her hands and just wait and hope that she comes back to you one day. If you want her back, you interact with her, you make her feel attracted to you in ways that she wasn't expecting, and she enjoys the new feelings that she's having around you. Suddenly, you don't seem like the guy that she dumped. You're so much more interesting and attractive to her now. As a result, she begins to regret leaving you and want you back. Now look, some guys can improve quickly like that on their own, whereas other guys do need help. If you're the sort of guy who can get it done yourself, then go ahead and do that. However, if you're the sort of guy who is struggling to level up and change in ways that are going to make her feel attracted, then keep watching. Tip number 2, let her feel like she wants you back more than you want her back. So this is where you interact with her and make her feel attracted to the new and improved you, but you don't push for a relationship. You're just interacting with her, making her feel sexually and romantically attracted to you, and letting that build up. She is enjoying the new and exciting feelings that she's experiencing around you now. But you're not pushing for a relationship. You're fine. You're not pushing and asking, can we have another chance? You're not trying to get her to decide whether or not she's going to give you another chance. You are fine with or without her. You don't say that to her because that would be rude and it would cause her guard to go up. Instead, you give her the impression, based on your body language and the way that you're behaving and your conversation style, that you are fine without her, but you also do find her attractive. You enjoy spending time with her. You do love her and like her. So what happens when you do that is it builds up sexual tension. Sexual tension occurs when a man and a woman feel sexually attracted to each other, but there's an obstacle in between them having sex. For example, a man and a woman in an office environment are attracted to each other, but it's forbidden to hook up and have sex with co-workers. So there's this sexual tension that keeps building up between them. They're both feeling sexually attracted to each other, but there's an obstacle in between the sex happening. And that is the policies, the management rules on employees not being allowed to have sex with each other. You can achieve the same effect with your ex-girlfriend or ex-wife by making her feel attracted to you again, but not pushing for a relationship. So she's feeling sexually attracted to you. She can see that you're feeling attracted to her, but you're not pushing for a relationship and you're not even pushing for sex. It's just building up between you and her. She wants it. She finds herself looking at you and feeling so attracted to you, and also noticing that she might actually want you more than you want her. Now, at that point, most couples are going to have sex, and that's fine. You can go ahead and do that and you get her back. However, if you really want to mess with her mind and push it really far, you can leave at that point. So she's feeling so attracted to you, she's falling back in love with you, and then you say that you got to get out of there, you've got something to do. She's going to be missing you like crazy at that point, and she's going to regret leaving you. She's going to want you back. Tip number 3, become truly emotionally independent of her. Now, it's one thing to act like you're fine without her, and it's another thing altogether to actually be fine without her. Where guys go wrong when trying to get an ex-woman back is that they are emotionally dependent on her. They are emotionally dependent on her making a decision about whether or not she's going to get back with him. Without her in his life, he feels lost, he feels depressed, he feels lonely, he feels like a bit of a loser. He's embarrassed to talk to his family and friends and co-workers because he's been dumped. He needs to have her in his life to feel like he's good enough, to feel whole again, to feel good again. Now, the problem with that is women don't actually want to be responsible for their man's emotional state. Your woman doesn't want to feel responsible for your level of confidence and self-esteem. What a woman really respects and feels attracted to in a man is when he is confident, happy, and forward-moving in life with or without her. Now, as I said earlier in the video, you don't want to actually say that to a woman because it's a rude thing to say, and it's also something that's going to make her guard go up. If she finds it rude, she might even then seek revenge on you by saying, yeah, well, you're fine without me, I'm fine without you too. Let's not talk again. And then she goes out with her girlfriends, hooks up with some guys, and tries to make you feel hurt for saying that to her. So it's not something that you ever have to say to a woman. It's just something that comes across based on how you interact with her. You're not a needy guy. You're not pushing for a relationship. You're simply interacting with her, making her feel attracted to you, and letting the tension build up. So if you want to make your ex regret leaving you, focus on leveling up in ways that she wasn't expecting you to. Then interact with her, make her feel attracted, but don't push for a relationship. When you do that, you're either going to get back with her right away, or she's going to be regretting leaving you. She's going to be thinking about you all the time, missing you and wanting you back. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this video and learned something from it. If you'd like to learn more, I recommend that you watch my program, Get Your Ex Back Super System. When you watch the program, you will learn my best techniques for making a woman want you back now. When you follow the steps of the system, you will get another chance with her. She will drop her guard, open up to you, and give you another chance. One final point that I want to make for you in this video is to remind you that most women aren't as strong as they make themselves out to be. Many modern women go around acting as though they are really strong, emotionally independent women and nothing rattles them. Yet the fact is that most women do have a cry once a week or many times a week or maybe a few times a month for the really strong women. That doesn't happen for men. Well, most men anyway, right? We men are so much stronger than women when it comes to our emotions. Here are some statistics to put it into perspective for you. According to the National Institute of Mental Health in the USA, women are reported to experience depression at twice the rate of men. According to the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, women are twice as likely to experience anxiety compared to men. 60% of the people who have OCD, obsessive compulsive disorders, and phobias are women. According to a study published in Evolutionary Behavioral Sciences, women experience more emotional pain than men after a breakup. So your ex-woman might be putting on a great act of being super strong without you, not caring, being totally indifferent, but in most cases what I've found is that it's not true, especially if her ex-guy interacts with her at some point and makes her feel a spark of attraction. In most cases, all it takes is a spark of attraction, and then she starts to change how she thinks, behaves, and acts. For example, she interacts with her ex-guy and he's so much more confident now. He talks to her and makes her laugh and smile, and she enjoys interacting with him. As a result, she's going to feel a spark of attraction for that. As you may know, women find guys attractive when they are confident and can make them laugh. So she's going to feel a spark of attraction. Compare that to a guy who interacts with her and he's just being neutral. He's just saying, hey, how you doing? How's things? And he's not actively creating a spark of attraction inside of her. In cases like that, she's not really going to feel much or anything. She's just going to move on without him. However, when a guy quickly levels up in ways that she wasn't expecting and then interacts with her and makes her feel attracted, she automatically starts to feel drawn to him. She automatically starts to change how she thinks and feels. And as a result, her behavior changes. She goes from not wanting to be with him at all to regretting the fact that they broke up. She feels attracted to him in new and exciting ways now, and she wants to get back together with him. He can then hook up with her sexually and get the relationship back together. So it's up to you. If you aren't in a hurry to get her back, then you can go ahead and take the slower approach. If you are in a bit of a hurry to get her back, then I recommend using a much quicker method. I recommend getting the job done. Taking control of the situation, quickly leveling up as a man, interacting with her, making her feel attracted, and getting her back.